It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. And it's 7 p.m. in the Big Apple, New York City. Hello, everybody. I am Mad Dog DeCipio. This is America's Podcast. What's the buzz? And I am joined tonight, God help me again, by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia? Do I dare you ask?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. And our conspiracy kook at large, Big Cal. Call him Cal Yater. How you doing, Cal?
I'm doing all right. Better than I deserve.
Oh, I like that. God bless you, man. Better than I deserve. You know what? He's absolutely right, Well, I'm going to talk about that for a couple seconds while we're there. We don't deserve half of what we get, but we should be grateful for what we have.
Yes.
And always thankful for what we need, I like that. I want to remember that. That was a good one. Cal, thank you very much. I'm impressed, young man.
I appreciate it.
We have actor Eddie Deasing going to be joining us tonight at some point this evening. If Steve Joyner can get him to work. Apparently, Eddie really is kind of like a nerd that he doesn't know how to do computers, and he said that on the show.
Yeah. He
says, I'm like, like the most like untech savvy nerd you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. And I know Angelo Capone, on the other hand, is like quite very tech savvy. Except when it comes to his videos, then he asked me to edit them.
Right.
He hit me up last night. Goes, can you edit this? Can you edit the video for me? Because the thing is like not what I want the thing to be. Because so they will be here, but we're jumping on here a little early tonight. So Cal, let me talk to you, my little brother. You've been with us for. Here comes Ange. There he is. I just said Ange Capone. Hot dog.
Yes.
Thank you for inviting me again.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. Everything good?
Yeah, waiting for the guest of honor to show up tonight.
Beautiful.
Eddie Deason will be here.
Beautiful.
And if Eddie doesn't show up, then we got Ange Capone back for night two. Be great if Eddie shows up. That's terrific, and
yeah, he'll show up.
We hope he'll show up. So I was I was asking you, Cal. What do you think of your what's this third or fourth time with us? What do you think?
I mean, I've been having a pretty good time. It's it's really fun. Good atmosphere. I like it.
We try to make it really light around here. I don't like to do a lot of heavy shows. When we do, it's usually Amelia and I when we do like a heavy show.
Mm-hmm.
Because she'll bring out the depression in somebody really quick.
I try to bring out the truth in them. What do you mean?
Yeah, right.
That truth.
But no, so Cal, you're going to do the conspiracy stuff with me. I'm going to look. Everybody, take a look at this. Cal, this is conspiracy kook at large under.
I want to get in that. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here.
I love it.
I got all kinds of room for you up here, brother.
Oh, I've been with a lot of things that people think that I am off the wall, and now I get a phone call. Ange, you might be right about that. You might be right about this. It's like,
yeah.
And you know what?
Like I always, man.
I tell people it's not for me to say I told you so. You get it?
No, you're right. I mean, and that's the truth. A lot of the stuff. See, I'm a devout Christian. I go to church. I'm a deacon in my church. Amen. But I'm also a conspiracy loon. Okay.
Right.
But here's the thing that people need to understand. A lot of what is conspiratorial by the world standards is prophetic according to the Bible.
Yes.
And people don't get that. They don't understand that. So it's a big, to me, it's a big deal. When Amelia and I sit here and talk about, exposing CERN, for example.
Yes.
people don't know what CERN is all about. I exposed them up and down and showed the opening ceremony that we weren't supposed to see, and
Right.
showed them the demonic statue in the front of the
Yes.
place nobody's supposed to know is there,
Right.
and the portal that they opened up in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't see that one, did you?
Well, what about the fact that around the same time that they opened CERN up the first time, that was in 2012. It was
Yeah.
in December of 2012.
Yep.
And at the same time, we had the largest earthquake in recorded history hit Chile, which knocked the Earth a few inches off its original axis.
And it's
That's
still
when-
off its axis.
Yes.
And that's when people started remembering things that didn't happen here.
Yeah.
Right.
The
That
Mandela
it all ties in. Oh, brother, let me tell you something. We're gonna deep dive into Mandela and the Matrix in a way. And I've had people on this show, experts in the field. I want to tell you something. We could take a rabbit hole, one rabbit hole, and have 100 arteries from it.
Yes.
You know, trust me.
You know what's my biggest, because I'm
Go
a
ahead,
musician
please.
and I was a fan, is the Beatles.
Oh yeah.
That's my-
Well, we know
that's my
Paul is
biggest-
dead.
That's my biggest, but it's even more than that. It's what really happened all these years, what it was all about. And
Yeah.
people just don't want to hear it because we
Nope.
got so programmed. You know, I was in front of the TV February 9th, 1964, when the Beatles came on at Sullivan. That year, at 10 years old, here I was. I made a Beatle band. I found 4 guys and we made a Beatle band at 10 years old. We were together from 10 to 18 years old when we graduated high school. And when I go back and go, wow, the influence of what they did to people, it was something that a conspiracy could come from.
If people don't understand, Ange, that the Beatles were not an organic group and they did not write any, and I mean,
Nothing.
they did not write any of their music. Paul McCartney has not written a single word or a single note ever in his life.
No.
And the original Paul McCartney died in 1966.
Yeah.
And he died in a car accident. And I have somebody on film who knew Paul McCartney. And I had the woman on the show, and her father used to own the Cavern Club.
Yes.
Okay.
Debbie Greenberg, she was on the show. She
Cavern.
owned the Cavern Club, and her father gave the Beatles their start. And she said, the man you saw in 1967 is not the same guy I knew in 1966.
No.
Paul died in a car crash in 66. There's a guy I know, good friend of mine, named Mike Williams, and he does a show called Sage of Quay.
It's the best. That's the best. The best of the best of research that you'll ever find. Mike is the best.
Mike, Mike's a good friend of mine. I've been on his show. He's been on my show a couple of times.
Yeah, I always comment on his show. Always.
And I'm going to give you a link to the show I did about the Beatles. It was a 2.5 hour show.
Oh, great! I would love to.
I'm going to send it to you after this show's over. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, definitely.
I get this funny feeling, folks, that Eddie is either going to be a no-show, which, and I told Amelia I had a funny feeling about this.
Yes, you did.
He may be a no-show and or just doesn't know how to get on. And I gave Steve the link. I gave it to him twice, so he's got both links. He knows how to get here.
Right.
But we're not going to worry about Eddie Deason. We're going to have our show tonight, and that's it, by God. And if I'll tell you what, why don't we do this?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we, since we have the conspiracy kook at large here, why don't we make tonight's show about conspiracies unless or until Eddie Deason gets here, because it doesn't look like Eddie's here.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we do
good.
that? Let's
That sounds
talk
great.
Beatles. Let's because Eddie's a big Beatles fan. So if he pops in, we'll be talking about the Beatles, and he'll jump right in here.
Okay.
Here's what I know factually. In 1966, after a very large blow up at the recording studio, Applewood Studios. This was before Apple Records, by the way. And no connection to Apple Studio. They had John and Paul had a big kind of argument that George Martin interjected himself into, and Paul stormed out of the studio. He got into his car and drove away. It was a rainy night. Oh, hold up. I think this is Steve trying to contact me. Is this it? He's only doing 30 minutes.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Also, to another conspiracy theory that I like is the Denver airport.
Tell him to stay home.
Oh, I didn't hear that one. I gotta learn that one.
The murals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, Eddie will not be on the show tonight. He was supposed to do an hour with us tonight. He's only doing 30 minutes, so I said to Steve, tell him to stay home.
Okay.
I don't need him if he's going to do 30 minutes. He's booked for an hour. That's an hour show, and that's what we do.
Absolutely.
No problem. So you and I are going to be here. So here's what happened. So it was a rainy night, and he takes his car, which was they described as an Aston Martin, a white Aston Martin. You're going to find all this stuff if you look on the cover of Today, Tomorrow, and Forever, the album the Beatles did. They remember, Ange, they changed the cover of that album.
Yes.
Remember the Butcher cover, and
Yes.
then they changed it to
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you.
I had the kids all butchered up. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That
And-
is
and-
interesting.
It only shows you how far they go back to what's really going on today that's being exposed. That's how far it went. My greatest awakening was when I noticed something about Paul, and when Mike brought the show about a woman called him and told him about this Paul McCartney, which is Billy Shears.
Billy,
Has
yeah.
a
His
a
real
glass
name,
eye.
by the way, Ange,
Huh?
his real name was William Shepard Campbell.
Shepard Campbell, right?
Yeah.
And he has a glass eye.
Yeah.
And I always looked at him. Something's wrong with his face, but I never put two and two together because I'm not the expert of seeing. I just have the maybe in me.
Yeah.
When that show came on, I was like, wow, I did see something about this guy that wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
He has a glass eye because this woman has a glass eye.
Yeah.
And she discovered it and said, this ain't Paul McCartney. And when she found Mike, they hooked up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was a great show.
Oh, I'm telling you what. One of the things I told Mike early on is that I knew a guy. He's been on the show. Amelia knows that Robert. His name's Robert Whitaker Johnson.
Oh, yes.
Robert's been on the show. Very connected to this. He lives in England. He was born in Liverpool. And he lives in Manchester now. And Robert is one of those guys who told us. He said, "Look, what you're dealing with here is a conspiracy on a different level. This is not just a replacing a guy.
No,
this is a whole mind fuck. Is what it is.
This is about programming.
Exactly.
This is about having control.
Mm-hmm.
They made Paul, it's obvious today, like a cult. The Paul
Exactly.
And he's allowing people to believe that he is somebody more than he is. But what's happening now, like he's 5 years older than the Paul McCartney.
Oh,
now he's coming into a place of he'll never get the credit for who he is as the person of who he really is. He's always going to
And
be.
here's
And it's
the
affecting
thing,
him.
though. And here's the thing: people don't understand this. People don't understand this, and it's important they understand it going into it. You cannot talk about the Beatles and the replacement of Paul McCartney without understanding why Paul was replaced. Aside from the fact that he was killed, okay? Paul was the money man in that group.
He was.
He was the money maker. John was the musician.
Right.
Clearly, John was the musician.
Right.
Paul was the good-looking one. George was the so-called quiet one, and Ringo was the funny one.
Right.
Nothing could be further from the truth. Ringo was the quiet one. George was the funny one. John not only was the musician, but he was the centerpiece. It was his band.
Yeah,
But
they all were around him.
By default, by de facto, it became Paul McCartney's band because he was the good-looking front guy. And when they lost him, they lost the bank account, brother.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Okay? People don't get that. They lost their bank account. That was, when I say bank account, I'm talking about money in the bank. He was the money guy. He sold the merch. He sold the albums. He sold the autographed pictures. That was all Paul.
That was Paul.
And people don't get that. Well, when you lose that guy, you think they're going to replace him with some other guy?
No.
They're going to they're going to replace him, but guess what? They replaced him with somebody that looked damn fucking close to him. But
well, he was always there, you know. People don't understand that. He was always in the background. He was his double for things that they did where Paul couldn't do, or a movie. He was always there.
Yeah.
Because he looked like him.
Who do you think told Mike that? I told him.
There's doubles all over. There's doubles all over the music industry in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show you one. Wait, hold on. Where is it? There it is. Where the hell is it? Here it is. Oh, damn, I got one for you. I got two Paul McCartneys for you.
Oh, wow.
Where the hell? I just saw it. Where the hell are they? I just had a picture of two Pauls.
Yeah, because we did that show where you did one back to back like that.
Yeah, I got it over here. Well, I just had it. Hold on. Damn, where is it?
So he wasn't
Okay,
just killed just because, right? I mean, it happened. It was an accident, right? Or was he killed because...
Well, that's a good question, Mil.
In my belief, I don't think it was an accident. No, I think Paul got started to get deprogrammed and didn't like a lot of things, and I believe he was sacrificed. I believe that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he sure the hell was. Yep. He was the sacrificial lamb. You didn't think that they were going to have that band dissolve, making the kind of money they were making? Are you shitting me?
Because if you look at it from 64 to 66, they made their money.
Yeah.
When they came back in 67, they were the new Beatles.
Yeah.
And they had to present themselves in this new Beatle thing because they had the people. But my opinion is their most money, their most fame was from 64 to 66.
Exactly. Exactly right. Take a look at this if you think I'm nuts. All right. I want to, Amelia, you've seen this before, so, don't say too much, all right? Because, I know it's getting like, for you to shut up.
I'm not going to.
It's hard for her, folks. Just bear with her. This is Paul. All right. Now, it's supposed to be Paul. There's one's real and one's not. Tell me which one. All right.
Well, yeah.
The one on the left.
It's obvious the right is not Paul.
Yeah. If you look, there are tremendous differences. Paul, the real Paul on the left, has a rounder face, more prominent ears, prominent chin, The eyebrow arch is different, and the eyes are completely different.
But now look at Bill, and look at the left eye.
Yeah.
You can see it's not real. It's dead.
It's fixated. Not only is it not, it's fixated. Look at it.
And when I used to look at that, right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ange.
Yeah, and it's not only that, but it's darker. His left eye is darker.
Exactly.
The eyebrows are in totally different directions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The nose.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The ear.
And when I was a kid,
is different. Everything is different.
When I was a kid, I used to look at that and I say something's not right. Never knowing about a glass eye. Never.
Oh yeah. Well, people don't understand that. You know. Yeah. Here you go. Here's another one. This will jump out at you. I'm gonna pull this one up. Cal, have you ever seen these? By the way, have you ever seen these the photos that we're looking at?
No, I have not.
I want you to take a look. Cal, I got a picture coming up next. I want you to take a look at this picture. It's an interesting profile shot, kind of like a 3/4 profile. I want you to take a look at this picture. Now, Ange has seen this picture before, and I know he has. But I want you to take a look at this picture and tell me what you notice about this.
All right. The false Paul doesn't have the teeth. Yeah, the teeth are different.
Go ahead.
The eyebrows are pointed in the same direction, but they're not the same eyebrows.
Not the same eyebrows at all. Go ahead.
Paul's nose is higher, and this false Paul's is a little bit lower. The chin, the chin on false Paul, that's different.
Yep, there you go.
This is a totally different person.
The
hairline and the roundness of the face. There's no roundness of the face.
Exactly. Fall, as they call him, as they call him Fall.
Right.
But fake Paul. Fake Paul has a longer face. If you look at Paul McCartney today, or the guy we call Paul McCartney, look at his face. He's got a really long face.
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at this Paul and you age him, he's going to have chubby cheeks.
Oh, yes.
Paul doesn't have chubby cheeks today.
No.
Okay. What people don't know, and I told Mike Williams this back in the day, what people don't know is that there were 4 Pauls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People don't understand this. Why were there 4? I want to tell you why. There were 4 Johns, 4 Ringos, 4 Georges, and 4 Pauls. Okay. There were 4. 4 of each guy. Why? People don't understand this, and they got away. And you don't know, folks, but they got away with this back in the day. The Beatles were in such demand. They could play in San Francisco today.
Yes.
And tonight they could be in Anchorage, Alaska. They could be in Melbourne, Australia tomorrow, and the same day be in Osaka, Japan, playing the Tokyo Dome. What they did, folks, was there were 4 sets of Beatles. Just like people don't understand this. There were 2 sets of Rolling Stones. Oh, that's the first you're hearing that one, aren't you, crew?
I know that. I know that too.
Yeah. There were 2 sets of Rolling Stones.
Well,
they had a Mick. There was a Mick Jagger lookalike back in the day.
Yeah.
But you would be hard pressed to say that wasn't Mick, boy, because he looked like Mick.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a guy, God rest his soul, his name was Ian McAllister. He looked more like Paul than Paul did. Okay? That's the Ian that you see on the cover of Melody Maker magazine. I had a guy on this show. Amelia, you know who I'm talking about. Dan Ely.
Yes.
Met Paul McCartney. Spent 3 weeks with Paul McCartney at Junior's farm.
Yes.
And the song Junior, and the song Junior's Farm.
Yep.
This guy spent 3 weeks with Paul and Denny Lane and became very good friends with Denny. And I did an interview with Denny Lane, God rest his soul. I did an interview with Jeff Britton. They're all members of Wings.
Yes.
Okay. Dan will tell you, dude, he's good, but he ain't Paul. He's not the guy.
Yeah.
It's not him.
Not him.
It's not him. And wait a minute. Here's the best part. The best part. Dan Ely has an amazing story about this Rickenbacker bass.
Yes.
That Paul, he gave Paul this Rickenbacker bass. And Paul used it for 2 weeks. He played with it for 2 weeks. It's on Junior's farm. And then Paul hands the guitar back to Dan and says, it would be silly of me to keep this, wouldn't it? I've got like more guitars, more basses than I can, than I need right now, right? So he gives him back this Rickenbacker that Paul played, right? That Billy played.
Right.
Right.
And the story, it took 42 years. 42 years for him to get that bass back, but he finally got it back.
Wow.
And the only reason he knew, Ange, that it was the same bass is because on the back of it, he put a Rosebud Speedway sticker on it that was still there.
Wow.
That nobody bothered to look at the back.
Yes.
They all looked at the front of the, because it's, when you're a guitar guy, it's all about what it looks like.
Right.
What it looks like.
Right.
Cal, talk to me, my friend.
I'm here.
He's like, ah.
Talk to me about the Beatles. Hey, Maria's here. Maria
Hi,
Bangone. Hello from Minnesota. Ange, you're going to love this one. This girl's from South Philly. She meets a guy and ends up in the middle of bumfuck Minnesota. She's living out in Minnesota now.
Wow.
Nice Italian girl from South Philly living in, with the cows and the horses and shit.
That's okay. Okay.
Marie, how you doing? Marie, we're talking about conspiracy shit tonight. You're going to love this stuff. Amelia.
Yes.
Where are you at on this whole thing?
Well, you were asking Cal first.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Cal answered.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I was gonna touch on the Paul is dead controversy, but that's already been brought up.
No, dude, it's not just been brought up.
You might enlighten us with something. Yeah.
I mean, have y'all heard there's some tracks by the Beatles? Like, I know people joke all the time about, there being backwards messages in Beatles music.
But that was deliberate, Cal. Cal, where'd your lights go?
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to where are you at?
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to find the video and I was gonna try to post the link, but you
got to be careful with that, Cal, because then we run into copyright issues.
Yeah,
you got to be careful with that. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, and nothing. You can't play any music on the show unless clear it through ASCAP or BMI. It has to be cleared legally.
The thing that I want to add to what Andrew said that was deliberate. They did everything to make people know that they were fooling them. They did it on purpose.
Ange, do me a favor, Ange. Yeah. I want you to do me a favor because it's really important. I'm going to bring you up on the big camera right now.
Okay.
I want to because I want people to pay attention to what you're saying. I want you to tell everybody listening just how significant, just how much is going on Sgt. Pepper.
Oh, I don't even know where to. First of all, the cover alone. You don't even have to even listen to the music. The cover alone is allowing you to understand that they buried Paul, that they're all different people. Just sit and look at the cover. It's like a puzzle, every time or every day you want to look at, you'll see something new. And that whole album is telling you. And what's funny is even the people you wouldn't expect, even Ringo, they're all telling you. They're all telling you, we are not who you think we are. But because of being brain dead and programming is so well and done, that you may never know it or wake up to it. And that's what
Angelo's talking about. This is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
Right. There's that album.
Look at this, guys. Ange, I'm going to trade places with you for a second. This is Sgt. Pepper.
Show the cover.
Okay. This is what's going on here.
And it's on
wow.
There's a lot going on. By the way, I know one of the people on this cover. I still know him today. People don't understand this, but right here, right over here, right behind Marlon Brando, and just above, just next to Tony Curtis, is Dion DiMucci, Dion and the Belmonts, Run Around Sue, the Wanderer.
Yeah.
I sang on stage with Dion at the Latin Casino in Cherry Hill. And he knew my dad. Dion and my father were good friends.
I would love to see Dion and the Belmonts before he retires.
Brother, he ain't retiring no time soon. Dion loves to perform.
Yeah, he always was.
Bring Ange back up here. Okay, so Ange, let's talk about this when last we left off. Sgt. Pepper's, there's a lot going on this cover here. You've got Aleister Crowley, you've got Marlon Brando, Dion, Marilyn Monroe, Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Oliver Hardy and Stan Laurel, Fatty Arbuckle, Mae West, Jane Mansfield, Bob Dylan, the Cat in the Hat, folks. I'm not kidding. The Cat in the Hat. And then you've got, again, like I said, you've got 4 sets of Beatles on that album cover. You've got the Sgt. Pepper Beatles. You've got the 1964 wax figure Beatles.
Right.
You've got the long, kind of long-haired Beatles, and you've got something down here a lot of people don't see. You see that little yellow guitar? Hold on. See that little yellow guitar? What's it look like, Amelia? Does it look like there's a word there?
Yeah, it kind of does, but it looks like something you would put on a funeral. It's like a.
It says Paul.
Yeah.
Coffin.
Oh, wow.
It's a coffin.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a coffin, is what it is.
It's a coffin. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That alone, that cover is telling you everything.
Yeah,
and a lot of people that have passed.
And you
there's
know
a lot going on there.
Right, and
there
you know
really
what's surprising is Billy was trying to tell you the new band is named Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the Beatles. It's Sgt.
Not the Beatles anymore. It's Sgt. Pepper. And from there, he, in his own right, just made it Sgt. Pepper. They had to say the Beatles, but in his mind, it was Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
Oh,
do you know where it came from? I got one for you, Ange. Do you know where it came from?
Refresh my memory.
It came from a group. The original group was called Billy Pepper and the Pepper Pots.
That's it. Yeah, Billy Pepper. Right.
Wow.
And here is something that people miss all the time. It was 20 years ago today. Okay? 20 years ago today. Think about something. This was 1967. They recorded this album. 20 years before to the day that they recorded Sgt. Pepper was 1947. What happened in 1947?
Wow.
What happened in 1947? 2 things that were very significant that affected the Beatles.
I can't get it right now.
Number 1.
Go ahead.
Aleister Crowley.
Well, he's the main guy.
Oh.
Yep.
He's the main guy behind all this.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the first. Number two, the real Paul McCartney. Okay.
Mm.
The real Paul McCartney. That's what happened in 1947.
Right.
Paul in 1967 would have been about 20, maybe.
Two.
He was the youngest in the group, and how he went from the youngest to the oldest is beyond me. Actually, Ringo is the oldest. Ringo is 84.
He's looking great though for his age.
Well, yeah, you look good too. I'll tell you something, brother. Do you know how many Ringos are running around right now?
Probably like a couple hundred.
And do you know what they put in their body to make them look like that? That's what nobody's really getting.
Talk to me.
Adrenochrome.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely Ringo. Blood. Definitely Ringo has been on it through the years, because there was moments you could see he looks better now than he ever looked. And they, it's a place where not so much they want to do it, they have to do it. They're told to do it. They're told to do it. Yeah. They are controlled so much that if they don't listen, they're sacrificed. Because
people don't get that. We talk about the Beatles and Elvis? I want to tell you what they both have in common. Elvis Presley, ladies and gentlemen, did not die August 16th, 1977. Let me tell you what happened to him. He timed out. He timed out.
Yeah.
Done.
His time was over.
His time was over.
Time was over. The culture came into a different place, and he had to go.
21-21. You understand what that means? He was 21 when he started. He was 21 when 21 years later he finished at 42. 21, 42. It's all about numerology.
It's all about the number. It's all about the number.
Amelia, what do you remember from the oh God, remember the lookalike shows that we did? We've done a lot of lookalike shows.
We sure did.
How about the one we did on Jamie Foxx? And I said to people then it wasn't Jamie Foxx, and guess what? I ended up being right.
And that's not even him now. He's gone. Not. He's gone.
Yeah.
That dude gone. Nothing like Jamie.
The guy that did that special on Netflix.
Yeah, just recently.
That's not Jamie Foxx.
No.
Jamie Foxx never, not one time, never moved like that, never sounded like. And here's how I know. Because when you have to be in front of an audience like that and prove to them that you played Ray Charles and you're doing an impression of Ray Charles that sounds nothing like you did in the movie, you, my friend, just gave your ass up.
Yeah.
You gave yourself away.
But but see what the thing is, in spite of that this is their trickery, they really don't care. If you
they don't care.
No, they don't care.
It's like what Ange just said. It's like what you just said, Ange. They have to fill in their number time. They have to do it no matter what is going on. They have to fulfill their moment until they're ready to go.
And the family has to agree to it, because every time in the special, he says, and the real Jamie Foxx, would he do this? Or the real Jamie Foxx, would he say this? Kept saying it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Mike Williams on his show, Ange, and I'm sure you heard this one. Mike Williams on his show was giving possible dates of Paul McCartney timing out.
Yeah.
It's coming up real close.
It's coming up this year.
Yeah, this year, 2025.
Yeah, it's coming up this year.
Yeah.
So he's gonna come out, announce that he's retiring, or he's gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's what's going to happen,
notice,
and people don't understand it. Have you ever seen the Magical Mystery Tour, Cal? Amelia?
I have not.
No, I have not, to be honest with you.
Okay. I want you to do yourself a favor, because you can rent it for free.
Okay.
Magical Mystery Tour. In the movie, and I'm not making a word of this up, Ange, and you know I'm telling the truth. In the movie Magical Mystery Tour, Paul is telling you he's 30 years old. But here's the problem. The real Paul would have been 25, not 30.
30. Right.
Then they asked Paul, how tall are you? He said 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
The real Paul wasn't 5'11". He was
5'11".
5'9". He was 5'9", 5'10".
5'9". He was 5'9".
Yeah, it was 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe that, go look at the Ed Sullivan Show.
And look at the
Because
height
him
difference.
and George were the same size.
Right.
Okay. John was the tall one. John
Right.
was almost 6 foot. Was 6 foot. Okay.
Right.
Then, if you look later in life, how did Paul become taller than John?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did Paul go from 5'9" to 6'3"?
Now,
and how did
anybody
he go from 25 years old to 30 in a year?
and anybody that was trying to trick you would not do that. But it's not about trick. This is not tricking the people. This is their life of being programmed.
Right.
And how they have to be sacrificing the lie. They have to sacrifice the lie. People don't understand. Everything they do is a lie. And when their lie is about to run out to get the new victim, they dispose you. You're gone. And that's what people don't understand, because they think it's like a fairy story. Like it's like, oh, yeah, I don't believe in that. Well, that's the belief of life. Us being Ange and I being godly men, Christ is about being alive, and evil and Satan is about being dead.
Right.
Exactly.
There's never an in between. There's no such thing as lukewarm. That's why even Jesus said, "I'll spit you out if you're lukewarm." You're one or the other. And this is the life we're living. We're actually like in a big movie right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in the big movie.
Right.
And the movie is the left and the right, the good and the bad.
I have a picture here. It's probably the only time you'll ever see this. These are the 4 guys that played Paul.
Wow.
Here's all 4 of them together, and they are very different people.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to look. I'm sorry, Paul McCartney, by the way, would have been 25 when Magical Mystery Tour was made. In the movie, when they interview him, he says that he's 30. That's a giveaway right there. How do you age 5 years in 1 year?
Yeah.
That's
You
impossible.
don't. I want you to look. There's the long-haired Paul. There's the short-haired Paul. There's there's Billy. By the way, Billy is lower right-hand side.
Right.
Ian is upper left-hand. The real Paul is upper right.
Right.
And the fake Paul, they call him, is lower left. So, and look at the chins. They're all different chins, all different mouth. All of them have different noses, and they all have, if you can see, the only one who had the real Paul, you can tell because he's got big taxi door ears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a reason the other guys wore their hair long, because they didn't have the taxi door ears.
Right. Right.
You understand, you guys?
Oh my goodness, yes, yeah.
Take a look. Take a look at that. Take a look. Tell me what you see there.
Everything's been a big lie.
It's big
That's
lie.
all a big lie, brother.
Yeah.
It's all a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world is where they get that saying. The world is a stage.
Shakespeare said it, man. Shakespeare said it. The world is a stage, and all of us merely players.
Yeah.
I have a guy. I want to show you something. We'll talk about lookalikes. Amelia, I want to pop out of here for a second.
Okay.
Ange, why don't you do me a favor, Ange? Continue on that line of thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's if you notice today, Paul McCartney's everywhere right now.
Right.
And that's the signal of understanding that he's about to go. He wants to get his last hurrah as Paul McCartney. So he's in the news. He's in places that you would never expect him to be. Sports. He's at the Super Bowl. This is not the Paul McCartney that was. He was the guy that was on the farm, the fake Paul and this and that. You know, he was private. He has to get his fame out there for two reasons. He knows he's leaving this as Paul McCartney and he'll never be recognized for who he really is, who started the Sgt. Pepper Band and did all the things with Wings and was a true good musician. He was the only real good writer besides the real Paul, but he's also a good musician, which George even said, none of us are really good musicians. George hated to even rehearse. So they were just the neighborhood garage band. And they were programmed to be this phenomenon. And that's who they are. And they became the phenomenon because they were put there. They were given the time and day to be the fame. And now, even Ringo's everywhere right now. And I think maybe he's gone his way too. Who knows? Maybe his time is up too. But Paul has allowed you to understand that he knows that his time is up. And he's given you that by being out there. And he throws little hints like he's tired and things like this. And he's getting up there in age. And I mean, the truth will come out. Everything will definitely come out because nothing's hidden. Nothing's hidden. And that's what's happening right now in the world. Everything's being exposed. I mean, our own country is being exposed of all the lies they've been doing. So and you know, you should accept it and take from it instead of ignoring it, because it's going to affect your life. Right. When it comes down to it, it's going to affect your life. You might not think it is, but it has to, because you're part of this. You're part of this. You're part of the movie that's going on. You're here for that reason, to know the truth, because the truth will set you free. And that's what it's about. So it's like, you know, it's you know, that people don't understand when television was invented. What is television? Television. They're telling you what to believe. This is the belief. That's why today the media has no support of belief anymore, because they were telling you what to believe and how to believe. And every good thief always comes in and is your friend, tells you the truth, and then slowly but surely they have to turn, because they're not about what they say they are, and they eventually will take from you. They'll rob from you, or they destroy you.
It's called programming for a reason.
Right. That's it. That's exactly it. They're programs. It's a program. And, you know, you got to thank God that you're not one of them, because you could have been. But again, we were programmed. I was a big Beatle fan. In 1 year, 10 years old, I made a Beatle band until I was 18. So
okay, I'm back.
I was programmed. So here I was. I'm no better than anybody else. I just happened along the way get saved. That's what it is.
Amelia, who is that?
That's well, I know that's not the real Elvis, but
that guy looks sleepy.
This is Johnny Hara. This is Johnny Hara.
Okay.
I want to show you something, just to show you how much you can get away with, right?
Right.
Who's that?
Well, let's see. A real Elvis and a fake one, or two fake Elvises.
The one on the right looks like Dave Thomas dressed as Elvis.
It's both of them are Johnny Hara.
Oh, okay. So
Johnny Hara in 1977.
What?
Johnny Hara in 1989.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh yeah, wait, it gets better.
That 77 really looks like him.
Yeah. Wait, it gets better. Hold on. Wow. I got one for you. Oh, we're not done yet. Hold up.
Here
you go. Real or fake?
Fake.
I would think it's fake because when you're heavy like that, you could really make it believable.
I say real.
That is again. That is from the movie. This is Elvis.
This is
Johnny
Elvis.
Harrow playing Elvis.
Wow.
Here's one for you. This'll be an interesting debate. Who dat?
I guess it's Johnny Harrow, right? Harris?
Yep.
Nope.
No,
Wow.
who's that?
That's
That's
the real
His
one.
name is Sean Clush,
Wow.
Wow.
and he works with a friend of mine named Steve McCoy.
All right.
I'll show you one more guy that you'd be hard pressed. Hold on, let me pull him up here for you.
Wow. This is like real Elvis lookalikes, like double trouble.
Oh yeah.
I think about all these guys who touch their face with all surgery to look like them to go out and do a career.
Wow.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Maybe I can shave my face and look like Elvis.
Yeah,
You already look like Johnny
can.
Depp.
Got one right here for you. Here's another one. This is an interesting picture. Got one more picture, and then we'll kind of wrap it up a little bit. Here's one for you.
No.
No, you can tell that's really not Elvis.
Okay, who is it? No answers?
Hold on.
No, I was gonna say Steve McCoy, but I'd be just making a name up.
His name is Bill Cherry.
Oh wow.
Oh, I was way off.
And he is probably the best in the world right now.
Oh, he's doing it now?
He's doing it right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Bill Cherry. He's a remarkable lookalike. Yep. But here's one that actually had a little bit of debate over this. Who is that?
Now, is he supposed to be a live Elvis when he was alive at this time? Because it looks like the 70s.
This is 1976.
Okay.
That's Elvis Presley in Philadelphia.
Okay.
That's the real Elvis.
Wow.
If you look, you can clearly tell what year it was. Look at the hair. Look at the women's hair. Look at the guy's hair. Look at the guy in the back with the mustache and the sunglasses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it reeks of the 1970s.
Right.
It reeks of the 70s. It's got 70s written all over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about. So can you be fooled? Yeah, because I fooled a couple of you,
Yeah.
a couple times tonight. I'm gonna tell you what, it all depends on when you were born, what you remember, how you remember it, what you remember somebody looking like. I remember the Beatles in 1964. I saw the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah.
I was 6 years old at the time. Angie's got me beat by a couple of years. Okay. But it means I'm an old fart still anyway. But I remember what John, Paul, George, and Ringo looked like up to 1966. And then the only thing I remember after that was they all had long hair. And the 1960s became psychedelic. And the Beatles, by the way, ushered in the psychedelic era.
Yeah.
Just so in case you want to know, where did all the psychedelic come from?
Them.
The Beatles brought it here from England. It started in England.
Yeah.
The artsy fartsy crowd in England. The what do they used to call that? The avant-garde. They called it the avant-garde. Those people, I call them the artsy fartsy crowd, but they're the avant-garde, right?
Right.
Because Angie and I use terms like artsy fartsy. But that's where that psychedelic, colorful, like explosion look came from.
Yeah.
Came from England. Didn't come from here. People think, oh, America started the psychedelic revolution. I wish we did. I wish we did. We can't take any credit for the music, the look, the clothing came from their bell-bottom pants came from England.
Right.
Nothing came from here.
Well, when they say,
people were wearing Nehru jackets, they were wearing pendants around their necks. There was, long hair, peace and love, and flowers in their hair and shit like that.
Right. When they, that saying, the English brought the English brought the invasion, the English invasion.
The
British invasion.
Yeah, the British invasion. Yeah.
If you listen to what it's saying, they came in and took over.
They
invaded America.
It's absolutely an invasion. People think that was just a marketing ploy.
Right,
no.
exactly.
Friends, it was not just a marketing ploy.
And here they are telling you. They're telling you. We're coming in. We're going to invade you with our culture.
Yep.
But it wasn't really an English culture. It was the pop culture that was going to take over.
I'm going to tell everybody who's invading Freehold, New Jersey on June 20th.
Oh, I think I know
Angelo Capone.
I know that
is
guy.
Invading Freehold, New Jersey.
I look like Elvis there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Elvis on a bad hair day.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Amelia, where'd you go, kid?
I don't know what happened.
Your camera disappeared.
I know, it was weird. I don't know what happened.
All right. Well, I can look at your face anyway. So Angelo Capone will be performing June 20th at 7 p.m. at the American Hotel. It's located at 1820 East Main Street, Freehold, New Jersey. You can call there 732-431-3220 for ticket information, or you can go. I'll give you a website in a minute. And the ticket prices are $65 for the VIP, and you'll get a full meal. You'll get a dinner show. You'll get dessert. Amelia.
Yeah.
The wonderful green screen you have in the background.
I know. I don't know what happened.
And the benefits go to the people and community of downtown Freehold, New Jersey. This show stars our friend Angelo Capone as Jerry Lewis and Robert Cavella doing Bob Cavella, by the way, is really, really good.
No,
he's got a very, very smooth, very baritone Dean, and I like that smooth, silky Dean Martin voice. Bob Cavella is one of the best in the business. You can see Bob and Angelo together doing an evening with Dean and Jerry, and laughter, dancing, song, and merriment, and mayhem, and with Angelo Capone, you never know what the hell's going to happen anyway.
Could I say one thing about Robert Cabela?
You can say anything you want about Robert Cabela, brother. Absolutely.
You got to see him do Elvis.
Tremendous. Oh, I'll bet you he does a hell of an Elvis.
Oh, he does a great Elvis. Great Elvis. But sometimes when we're on stage, he gets his Elvis and Dean a little mixed up. I have to look at him like, come on back.
Well, you know what's funny? Because he did... The song when it was Send in the Clowns, that sounded like very baritone.
That was a guy I used that recording.
Was that Bob? That was not Bob?
No, this is a guy this guy's from Brazil. Dan, he has a long Brazilian name, Daniel. I'll send you the link. This guy is the biggest artist in Brazil and South America. When I heard him do Send in the Clowns, he put everybody to shame. That I said, it touched me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring the clown in. And when I was researching, I told everybody, I'm going to bring the Jerry clown in. They were like, Ange, you're going to... I said, yes. And I just put on makeup because Sending the Clowns is about a breakup. And it's the sad part of the clown of a breakup, which a clown always wants everybody to be happy. And it's been a hit for me. I got to say, I'm so grateful that it's been a hit for me.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I'm glad you did that song because, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie called "The Day the Clown Cried."
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, Ange?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was never supposed to be released. Jerry had this thing where it was only supposed to be released upon his death. And even then, there was some debate on whether it was supposed to be released.
Exactly.
But I know that it's released because I have a copy of it, the full film.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, and that's as close to the real Jerry Lewis as you're ever going to see.
Yeah. It's very depressing.
It really is. But that's, you know what, Ange? That was Jerry.
That was Jerry, boy. And I think that's
Jerry.
the reason. I think that's the reason they didn't put it out.
Yeah, because that was the real Jerry.
Yeah,
but you notice that they put it out after he died.
Yes, yes. I think there was controversy. People must have came and said, "Listen, you're going to ruin your career if you come out with this."
And I'm not quite sure if that might not be the reason that he was asked to leave MDA. You know, because he had, and you have to admit it, brother. He had some really bad press during that time. Really bad press.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He
raised a lot of money for that group, and he founded the group. He founded the MDA.
And with Dean.
With Dean.
You know, everybody forgets that him and Dean did the first 3 years, and then he took over in that 66.
Yeah.
And put it on the map.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amelia, what do we got coming up?
Well, actually, that ends our month of April. So starting on May 5th, on Monday, and May 6th, we're going to just do open forum.
We are going to do open forum, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be our new format. We're going to do whatever the hell we feel like on that particular night, whatever the news happens to bring. For example, I think the next show we're doing on May 5th, I believe that's going to be a Monday. We are going to talk about who the new Pope is or may be at that time.
Right.
Because it's probably going to take us till then to figure out. They're going to probably have to figure out who the new Pope is going to be.
Yeah.
We might even talk about the importance of the Pope. And on Tuesday, it's the Chasing Conspiracy show with our conspiracy kook at large, Big Cal, call me Cal Yater. And I might bring Ange back in for that one. We are going to talk about the mystery of the Jersey Devil. It has been solved.
Oh, wow.
It has been solved. Let me show. Amelia, talk to everybody for a half a second. I want to pull a picture up. You're going to love it.
Oh, I can't wait to see that one. No, I was talking about the Denver airport because, as you know, there's lots of tunnels underneath. And they're saying that it's like alien spaceships, things like that can, come in and out. And there's also on top of the airport, there's like a landing that's been known to have for spaceships or who knows what it is. And then, of course, that blue horse with those red eyes. I don't know if you've seen that or heard about that.
I've only seen the murals.
Oh, really? It's called Lucifer, this horse that's
really
miles away from the airport.
No, I never seen that.
Yeah, this Mexican man actually is the one that was paid to do that. And on him making this, it fell on him and killed him.
Wow.
Yeah, it is called Lucifer. And at night, his red eyes glow. It's supposed to be like this evil horse and things like that. And the murals too have something to say about that too.
The spirit world. We're touching in the spirit world now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these murals. Yeah, and as Cal was saying, these murals also speak for themselves. They have it's like this seen in plain sight, basically. And
it's right in front of everybody's faces. They don't really hide it.
They
can't hide it. They can't hide it. It has to come out. Everything.
Those people are so used to thinking a certain way that it would just flip their whole mind inside out.
Right. What it is, it's unbelief. It's unbelief. Jesus walked the earth and said, "Just believe."
Yeah.
The opposite of belief is unbelief.
Absolutely.
That's it. There's the medicine. You believe it, or you don't believe it.
Exactly.
You take the medicine, you'll start to see. If you don't believe it, you don't see anything.
True enough.
Very easy.
Absolutely.
It's not hard. Nothing's hard.
Speaking of disbelief, I want you guys to take a look at something here real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the Jersey Devil.
Oh my goodness.
We found out, we now know what the Jersey Devil is. You're going to love this. It's a hammerhead bat. Somehow or another, this creature from Australia made its way to New Jersey about 100 years ago and has been spotted as the Jersey Devil. I'm going to show you another picture, a nighttime photo that people have reported as the Jersey Devil. You're going to love this.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
I don't like it.
I'm sorry.
It's creepy at night. Oh my goodness.
Check this out.
It even looks human. It even looks human.
Yeah, for real. I got one more. Let me see. Where is it here? Let me see. It's around here somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah. But that's the gist of it. Yeah, that's the. Oh, here it is. Here you go.
Oh,
that's what people have been reporting for almost 100 years. It's a hammerhead bat. They are indigenous to Australia, but somehow they made their way to the east coast of the United States around 90 to 100 years ago, but they have never left the east coast. You can find them New Jersey, Maine, Vermont, as far down as the Carolinas, but they have not hit Florida, but mostly New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Vermont, upstate New York, but the east coast of the country.
how tall is it?
Guys, I just got to say one thing. I got to say goodbye. I'm going on another interview in around 20 minutes.
Oh,
okay. And
I am so grateful that I was back. I loved what we did tonight because I like to refresh everything what I learned.
Thank you for coming on.
I want to thank you for the advertisement, and I just hope to see you guys soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, Ange.
Be well.
Have a great one. Yep. Be well. Angelo Capone, everybody. Have a great one, Ange. Bye-bye.
So these bats, they're actually populating?
Yeah, because there are male and female.
How tall are they?
That's why they were able to repopulate since 100 years ago. They started coming here in the early 1900s, 1919, 1920, around there, about 100 years or so. Is the information that we have, and they can get very small to quite large, to the point where, like this one here,
as tall as me, or like
this one here, it can actually stand up. Mm-hmm. But you see, it's the face, the wings, the tail, the whole bit, and it looks like a little devil.
Oh wow!
And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a little devil.
Yeah.
It's got a big tail. Those are the wings. It's a bat. Mm-hmm. It's a hammerhead bat.
Oh.
So yes, it has wings and it flies and it does what bats do. It eats bugs and fruit and insects and shit like that. But they pose no danger to people, which is the funny part. Amelia, how do I always end up on the other side of you?
I don't know how it is.
How the hell does that happen? Jesus, what a mess.
That's weird how it happens like that.
All right, so listen. Good show tonight.
Yes.
Good show tonight. Who the hell needed Eddie Deason? We didn't.
No.
Got Angelo Capone. Just give Angelo a subject and just sit back and drink your coffee. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I still have a half a cup I haven't touched yet.
I still have my whole water.
Anyway,
Cal, what do you think? You going to stick around with us for a while or what?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to stick around. It's just, I I got to get brushed up a little more on my Beatles information.
You got to get brushed up on everything, brother. Conspiracies, Beatles, Elvis, the CERN situation, the Matrix, the Mandela effect. We're gonna go, brother. Let me tell you something. I could do a year's worth of shows just on the Matrix and Mandela.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of those shows already.
We're living in a simulation that, like, people don't even understand that. That people don't realize. And when Elon, who, he's no pushover, when Elon says, I think that we're like all living in this bubble that, that somebody can just pop. That's what he said, we're living in a bubble, and someday, the bubble's going to pop.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen? We're going to have a new reality, just like we have now. I know for certain that I remember the Berenstein Bears. Okay? And I thought that I was cracking up when I saw the Berenstain Bears. But then again, Angelo's mind went into overdrive. And I did find both. And I showed it on the show. Yes, there were both the Berenstein Bears and the Berenstain Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did I do? I called HarperCollins, the publisher of that book. I said, what's the story here? They said, well, Mr. DeCipio, what we've done, sir, is the Berenstein Bears sounded too ethnic, sounded too Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds plausible to me. I'll buy it. Hence the name, the Berenstain Bears. I'm not making a fucking word.
You're not making it up, because I remember reading to my stepson Donald.
I told the story.
Oh yeah, all the time when we do conspiracy shows.
Like a dozen times at least already.
Yeah, every time we do a conspiracy show.
I promise you, Cal, you can't make this shit up. You know why, my friend? Cal, you're a young guy, right? You're like 30, 25. How old are you?
I'm 36.
You're 36. Okay, you're still a young guy. I got shoes older than you. You're 36. Okay, but here's the thing. You're a young man. Now, I have a daughter that's 42. I got a daughter that's 25. Okay. So, yeah, I actually have a kid older than you. Here's the thing, though. When we talk about what people believe and what they don't, I tell people, believe what you want. I'm not here to try and change your mind. I'm trying to educate you to what's happening out there. Because nobody out there is going to tell you.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Well, if you want to hear it, great. If you don't, then be like other people and make up your own truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because remember the TV show?
I told the guy tonight that if you wanted me to go to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, it was going to cost $1,500 because I got to go with my show.
Yeah.
I got to take my microphones, my speakers, my lights, my soundboard, my computers. I have to bring my show with me. I'm not going to travel 2.5 hours for no money. Give me something. They didn't even offer to feed me. Wow. Give me something.
Some prime rib or something.
Give me a coupon and a Coke.
Right.
Yep. Give me something, man. Anyway, Amelia, time to go.
Yes.
It is that time, 8:10 p.m. We are 10 minutes past our time, folks. It's all Cal's fault. He's the new guy. We'll blame him.
No.
I know, right? For Big Cal, Coleman Calumniator, for Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. This is the Popcast, America's best Popcast. What's the buzz? Take care, folks. God bless. We'll see you next time. Lord's willing and the creek don't rise. Take care.